are still going through this particular Mishnah. One of the more famous sayings of Hillel, very profound, when he said, he says, "Im einani li mili." If I'm not for myself, who will be for me? Really, that again centering on the idea that we are most responsible for ourselves, and the idea is that it leads to the next one. Ukshani latzmi mani. If I'm only for myself, what am I? So again, this is the idea that I'm most responsible for myself, and the true responsibility for oneself is inclusive of the rest of the world, of the community, of your family, and then your community, the Jewish people, the rest of the world. That is truly what helps a person become great. So I'm sure, when people come and they consider moving to Las Vegas, I'm quick to point out to them that, especially in the early years, but even so now, it's that when a person is wondering, where should I live? What kind of influences do I want around in my life? So that people are way less important in that what a person receives from a community is how a person contributes to a community. When it comes to the feeling you're giving to your children and the values you're imbuing to others, it is less important in terms of what you're receiving and way important in terms of what your children see that you are contributing. So you want to put yourself in a position that you are contributing, which is not always an easy thing to do. There are some people that they say, I have nothing to add to the shul, nothing to add to the yeshiva, nothing to add to my family, nothing to add. That is a sad, sad state of affairs. But one of the things that Hillel is discussing is that if I'm taking my existence seriously, then I have to be contributive to other people in that regard, because that's how I build myself. And then he concludes over here with Vim lo achshav emasai, and if not now, when? So it has been said that the greatest enemy of human achievement is procrastination. That when a person stops and says, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it tomorrow. Common human wisdom is that if you want something done, ask someone who is busy to do it. Because busy people are doing things now. They're not waiting, they're not putting it off, but they're taking care of things right now. Now, of course, the Bart Nur explains over here that the concept is that he's speaking about Olam Haba. If I don't gain my Olam Haba, who's going to gain it for me? If I'm only interested in my Olam Haba and not my community's Olam Haba, then I'm actually spiritually a very small person, and I never know if I have another day to live in order to accomplish that spiritual accomplishment. And that is why Rabbi Soslanter used to discuss how a person on some level every day should reflect that today might be their last. Now again, this should not lead a person to a sense of fear or anxiety, but they should just stop and say, what if this is the last Marav I daven? Okay, we're going to daven Marav in a moment. What if that would be the last Marav that I have? So if you go into it in that way, you're probably going to put a little more energy into it. And then when you say goodnight to your family, you say, well, what if this is the last time I say goodnight to them? I'm going to make sure I say goodnight to them in a nice way. And when I leave the house tomorrow, and if that's the last time I'm saying, see you guys later, have a good day, how is that going to be a little bit of a different angle? So there's a couple of things that will go on over here. One is I will accomplish things, more meaningful things. I'll spend my time focused on more meaningful things. But I will also spend my time focused on more pleasurable things. How many of us have discussed with people who work so hard their whole life, waiting for those golden years, waiting for those retirement years where they can really enjoy their life, and right when they retire, they get sick and they die. And they never get the chance to enjoy certain things in their life. So it's a combination of enjoyment and living a meaningful, purposeful life. Because really we know that's what Hashem wants us to do. And if we know that the road is not the very, very end, so he doesn't go on for forever, so then we'll be much more careful to take care of things right at the beginning. One last little thing over here. We know the beginning of Sefer Bereshis, when God is discussing when God is discussing the creation, He's describing His own creation. I love this. God makes something. He goes, I made it, and then God says, and it was really good. Reminds me of my dentist, right? Every time you do some dental work, he goes, oh, that's beautiful. That is so beautiful. That's great. Okay. Maybe you learned it from the Torah. Okay, anyway. So it is this. Okay. So what happened is, when you get to the 6 days, so God says it's Tov Me'od. It's really, really good, right? It's good, Every other day, third day is tov me'od also, but when you get to the sixth day, it's tov me'od. So the Medrash there says, what is ma'od? What's very good? What's really, really good? One of the things that's really, really good is the concept of death. That on the sixth day of creation, God created this idea of death. And we know that we have a deadline, that gives meaning to the time period that we have. And if you live your life knowing that meaningful things have deadlines, so then you won't procrastinate, you won't push things off so much. You just keep doing things, do things you enjoy, make sure you enjoy some things, make sure you infuse meaning into the things you enjoy. That's the ultimate. And make sure that you're engaged in meaningful things and you learn to enjoy them as well.